Zoran Mamdani's election as New York City mayor represents a turbulent sea change in the election of Zoran Mamdani as mayor of New York City represents a tumultuous shift in American urban politics.
Thank you, my friends. The sun may have set over our city this evening, but as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity. For as long as we can remember, the working people of New York have been told by the wealthy and the well-connected that power does not belong in their hands. Fingers bruised from lifting boxes on the warehouse floor, palms calloused from delivery bike handlebars, knuckles scarred with kitchen burns. These are not hands that have been allowed to hold power. And yet, over the last 12 months, you have dared to reach for something greater. Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it. The future is in our hands. My friends, we have toppled a political dynasty.
The red-green political alignment, a combination of far-left Marxist ideology and Islamist anti-Western and anti-Zionist positions, is making electoral success in America's largest city transparent by maintaining strategic moderation in campaigns while maintaining far-left political commitments. New York City now serves as a case study, testing whether red-green ideological frameworks can transform American urban governance. For both Jewish New Yorkers and others who value liberal democratic governance and personal liberty, Mamdanism goes way beyond incremental progressive reform, embracing revolutionary change and challenging liberal democratic foundations. The question remains whether enough New Yorkers will assess these far-reaching implications before governance transformation becomes established, particularly as it affects the Jewish community and New York's relationship with the Jewish state. Born in Uganda to Indian parents, raised in South Africa, and politically active in Queens, Mamdani has a perspective, multicultural identity. For New York's Jewish community, Mamdani's mayoral election warrants attention. Mamdani assumes office with documented connections to anti-Israel activists, declining to condemn slogans calling for violence against Jews, and a political network committed to ending NYPD Israel's security cooperation and pressuring municipal adoption of BDS policies. Greater metropolitan New York hosts approximately 2 million Jews, the largest Jewish population outside Israel. The normalization of anti-Zionist discourse and policy at the municipal level may correlate with increased incidents of harassment, intimidation, and violence targeting Jewish New Yorkers. Anti-Semitic incidents in New York City have increased in correlation with Israeli-Palestinian conflicts over the past decade. When anti-Israel demonstrations occur with intifada rhetoric, correlating incidents include vandalism of Jewish-owned businesses, assaults on visibly Jewish individuals, and increased security requirements for synagogues. With a mayor whose political network includes individuals and organizations supporting such demonstrations, concerns exist regarding the municipal government's enforcement priorities, when incidents can be characterized as political expression rather than targeted harassment Israeli government ministers immediately condemned the election of Soran Mamdani as mayor and called on the city's Jews to immigrate to Israel. The city, which used to be the symbol of world freedom, handed over its keys to a Hamas supporter. Israel's Diaspora Affairs Minister Amichai Chikli said on the U.S. social media company X on Wednesday. Chikli, from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party, called Mamdani's win a critical turning point for New York, a place that became the stronghold of the largest Jewish community in the world outside of Israel since the late 19th century. I invite the Jews of New York to consider positively determining their new place in the land of Israel, he said. Far-right National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir called Mamdani's election as New York mayor anti-Semitism's triumph over common sense, labeling the newly elected mayor a Hamas supporter, a hater of Israel, and an avowed anti-Semite. Israeli ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, also lashed out at Mamdani. Mamdani's inflammatory remarks will not deter us, Danon said on X, vowing to strengthen ties with Jewish community leaders in New York. In statements to the local 103 FM radio, Danon claimed that Mamdani's election can harm the Jewish community's sense of security, as he is directly responsible for the police force. Mamdani, who holds over 50% of the vote in the three-way contest with 91% of the votes counted, enjoys the support of a broad and diverse base of voters, including Jews who reject the Netanyahu government's policies, particularly during the 2 years of genocidal war in the Gaza Strip. Mr. Mamdani has spoken frequently about expanding the city's efforts to protect Jewish New Yorkers and combat anti-Semitism if he were elected. On the campaign trail, Mr. Mamdani refused to say whether he supported Israel's right to exist as a Jewish state, saying he believed that all its citizens, regardless of their religion, should enjoy equal rights. Throughout the campaign, Mr. Mamdani was subjected to vicious attacks, suggesting he was a terrorist sympathizer, especially in the final weeks of the race, when he evaded questions about whether Hamas should lay down its arms. And he appeared reluctant early in the campaign to condemn an activist phrase, "globalize the intifada," which many Jews find threatening because of its association with terrorism and violence during Palestinian uprisings in the 1980s and 2000s. Mr. Mamdani also vowed, if elected, to arrest Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel on a warrant from the International Criminal Court, though experts said that such a move was most likely illegal. Minister from the far-right Jewish Power Party called Mr. Mamdani a Hamas supporter, an Israel hater, and an outspoken anti-Semite. And Amichai Chikli, an Israeli minister whose portfolio includes the Jewish diaspora and combating anti-Semitism, suggested that New York's new mayor was someone whose positions are not far removed from the jihadist fanatics who murdered 3,000 of its people in the September 11, 2001 attacks. In short, the reasons that led to Mamdani's victory can be understood as the long-running Israeli-Palestinian conflict and Israel's strong stance against Hamas and Islamic countries, including Palestine. The polling reflected the public's feelings about Israel's continued attacks on Gaza, ignoring the opinions of world powers. But even when many Arab countries tried to wipe Israel off the face of the earth, Israel, the divinely chosen nation, outsmarted them and defeated them. Finally, the terrorist organization Hamas, with the help of other Arab countries, attacked Israel from all four corners of the country, and their hideouts were also prepared for their safety. But even though thousands of Israelis were sacrificed, after a war that lasted for 2 years, Israel established its authentic victory in the Middle East. But now, if the new mayor of New York calls for a military revolution through an ideological revolution, Israel will definitely crush it. Mossad has been Israel's guardian, preventing anti-Semitism in every corner of the world.